Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Motley, and I'm the founder and CEO of Better Weekdays, and I'm really happy to be here to talk about our product, The Weather. Our vision is very simple. We want to personalize career pathways for students by reducing friction in the campus hiring and job search process. I'm sure you all remember that first internship or first job you received and all the anxiety that was filled in that process, and sadly, very little has changed. When we looked out in the marketplace, we saw many products and services, but they oftentimes focused on one piece of the puzzle, like the employer who wants to get their brand in front of students early and often. But it was often at the expense of other key pieces of the puzzle, like the student who's trying to connect their degree to an internship or a full-time job, or even the institution who's trying to be a part of this process to facilitate the connection between employers and their students. The Weather was created to build the ideal conditions for each member of this ecosystem to complete their work. To date, we've worked with a handful of companies in St. Louis where we're based to really get deep insights into the recruiting process. We were in about 50 universities as prestigious as Harvard to for-profit schools and HBCUs, and we generated $350,000 of revenue, have a pipeline of about $2 million, and has raised as much money. Just recently, we won South by Southwest EDU launch competition, and we're very proud about that. But none of this would have happened if we didn't focus exclusively on Sarah within the ecosystem. Sarah is a student at Harris Stowe University, one of our partner schools, through a grant from Strata Education. Sarah values things like personal growth, guidance, purposeful work, as we know with all millennials. She also fears a few things too, like student debt, missing out or being disconnected. Yet when Sarah has to find her career match, she's faced with this and filled with anxiety, right? And according to NACE, 72% of companies have found career fairs to be ineffective, despite the fact that $8 billion is spent each year to hire students. And it's not surprising when we think of ourselves as consumers, because Sarah, she discovers things very differently. She expects things to be curated and personalized to her interest. So we've done two things. First, we aggregate about 1 million jobs each day, and we map the core competencies and skills related to those jobs to the degree programs and coursework that Sarah is choosing. Second, we've incorporated a holistic career assessment that looks at Sarah's motivations, her ability, her personality in the context of work, giving her a language to talk about herself, but also allowing employers to see her in a more holistic way. Within the user journey, most recruiting teams are thinking about the transaction, which is the applicant tracking system that they use to manage their process. We sit above that in a funnel to help employers attract, engage, and ultimately hire people like Sarah to influence her decision to apply to their jobs. Companies pay us to target their brands to people like Sarah, and what we do is on our platform is we use very simple language that allows us to explain that company's mission and vision to give Sarah context of the opportunity, helping employers to repurpose existing content that they've already spent money to create, improving the ROI, and then measuring the feedback loop so they understand how their brands are trending on their college recruiting efforts. Second, we give employers the opportunity to nurture Sarah by sharing content about the day in the life of a company, recent awards, innovations in the community, or even classes or courses that Sarah should be taking within her school or within the community. Finally, for the recruiting teams, we take cues on companies like HubSpot and Salesforce and provide a recruiting funnel that allows companies to look at who's searching for their companies, all the way down who's expressing interest to apply to those jobs. A recruiter can go deeper and see in one fell swoop Sarah's resume, her credentials, but also some of the data that we capture from the assessment. What are her values? What are her strengths? To help get to that culture fit and, again, reduce that friction in the recruiting process. We get paid money by charging employers a subscription based on the size of their recruiting team, between $99 a month and $1,000 a month. We also add premium services like our career assessment, content creation, and distribution services. And for experience level hires, we charge 12% of the starting salary. The benefit of our business is that as we continue to engage students, they get better over time, and we're really encouraged by what that means for our model. And we know schools don't have money, so we've actually created a platform for career services teams to have unprecedented visibility into Sarah's engagement in her job search process, and we do it for free because our economic model supports this service for universities. And you know, it works. Just last week, we placed 23 interns into 23 companies in St. Louis, generating over 15,000 data points that we use to go back into our system for continuous improvement and development. We've also facilitated an additional 700 internships just to date over the last 3 months. We wouldn't do this without our great team, which averages over 10 years of experience, our advisors, that includes Jeff Hoffman, former co-founder of Priceline.com, and all of our team representing the companies and schools that we all know and love. But more importantly, it's our design thinking process that gives us a lot of insights. What makes us different is that we recognize that we sit in the center of economic development, and so our distribution model engages regional chambers of commerce and economic development agencies, giving us distribution to companies. We're also different because we integrate with existing technologies that schools use, like the LMS or an ATS on the company side. And then finally, the user experience, which is constantly curated within the context of a career pathway so that the intentionality of students can be realized when they're looking for internships, jobs, other types of experiential learning, or even mentors. We're raising capital, and we think that we're raising capital to support our efforts, and we believe that some of the exit strategies that exist is existing online recruiting organizations, some of the RPOs that exist, or even many companies that have expressed interest to enter into the space, such as Salesforce and some of the LMS providers. When we think about valuations, we expect to be at a $50 million revenue run rate in 5 years, which we think makes for a compelling return for investors. More importantly, a trend that's been happening is the fact that many foundations have started to take a new look at the transition from higher education to the world of work. And that type of alignment can help amplify equity or debt investors to help us maximize our impact. And we're really excited about this change. We've been hearing about it a lot, even here at GSV. We believe everyone can help, though. So if you are passionate about helping people like Sarah, the millions of Sarahs across the country, please feel free to get in touch with me at chris@betterweekdays.com.
How much are you raising, Chris?
Up to $5 million. Thank you so much.